upper extremity orthosis. What are the orthosis? Orthosis is a Greek word that is orthos, that means to correct or make straight. And what do you mean by according to the ISPO, any externally applied device used to modify structural and functional characteristics of the neuromuscular system, that is called orthosis. Now, what are the upper limb orthosis? Upper limb orthosis, also referred to as splint, they may be static, dynamic or tone reducing. Now, what are the splints? Any material which is used to support a fracture is known as splint. The types of the splints are cast, spica and the slab. Cast, POP in circles, entire circumferences. Mnemonics, C4 cast and C4 circumference. Spica, immobilized limb with the trunk, that is spine. Mnemonics is spica, that is spy means plus CA means casting or spy means spine. Now next is slab. Slab covers only one surface of limb. Mnemonics is S for slab, S for one surface. Now what are the braces? A device fitted to something, in particular a weak or injured part of the body, to give support. Next is, what are the objectives of upper limb orthotics? Protection, correction, assistance with function, prevention of deformity, attachment of the assistive devices. So these all are the pictures of upper limb orthosis. What are the biomechanical principles before using the orthosis? 3-point concept: tissue tolerance to compression and shear force, biomechanics of levers and forces, selection of materials, static versus dynamic control. So 3-point control system is also known as Jordan's principle. When two forces acting at one side, the resulting force acting from the another side. General classification of splints or orthotics: static orthosis, they do not permit movement and motion, are referred to as resting or positional splint. To position or hold the wrist or the hand. So the static orthosis are they do not permit any motion. They are commonly fabricated from low temperature thermoplastic materials, but if a permanent orthosis is required, high temperature copolymer plastics are used. Now dynamic orthosis, they permit movement. They are splints that provide a dynamic force. They are generally using energy storing materials like rubber bands, spring steel, wound coiled wire or plastic with memory. So these are the general functions of splinting. Let me show you. So these are the general functions of the splinting: to prevent undesirable movements, to provide a functional position for the hand, to reduce pain, to hold fractured bone end in position until they are united, to support structures after surgery, to maintain the position after reduction of a dislocation until the joint capsules is healed, to strengthen specific muscle and protect them, prevent the contracture, to promote grip and pinch, to diminish muscle spasm. So these are the general functions of the splinting. Next is anatomical principles: wrist extension, IP joints, interphalangeal joint extensions, MCP joints inflection. These are the basic anatomical principles. Thumb in plantar abduction and extension, web spaces, transverse arches. Design categories are non-articular, static, serial static, static motion blocking, static progressive, dynamic motion blocking, dynamic traction, tenodesis, CPM orthosis, continuous passive movement orthosis, adaptive or functional uses. Types of static orthosis are finger orthosis, swan neck ring splint, buttoner ring splint, cock-up splint, C-splint, short opponent splint and the airplane splint. The finger orthosis are these simple splints stabilize the phalanges and the joint. This is distal interphalangeal joint, proximal interphalangeal joints, or both the joints. They are gutter splint made up of aluminium and foam and are available off the shelf. They are used to restrict motion at the PIP and the DIP. In general, the interphalangeal joints are maintained in full extension to keep the collateral ligament stretched and to prevent flexion contracture. They are indicated in phalanx fracture, PIP, DIP dislocations, and to provide prolonged finger stretch in burns and the contractures. So this diagram shows the finger orthosis. Swan neck ring splint is it prevents PIP joint hyperextension throughout a 3-point pressure system but allow full interphalangeal joint flexion. So this image shows the swan neck ring splint. Next is buttoner ring splint. It immobilizes the PIP in extensions and prevent flexion through a 3-point pressure system. So buttoner ring splint. Cock up splint, a static splint to maintain the wrist in either extension or flexion. It is static in nature. Common names are volar palmar wrist splint, volar wrist cock up splint, wrist immobilization splint, drop wrist splint, carpal tunnus splint, wrist extension immobilized splint. Now what are the objectives of cock up splint? Is to reduce pain and inflammation, to protect against joint damage, to protect hand function, to prevent or correct the contractures, to provide base of outrigger. So this is the static cock up splint. It is generally used in the wrist drop, that is radial nerve palsy, or in the hemiplegic patients. Dynamic cock up splint. Now next is C-splint. So this splint maintains the thumb in abduction and partial rotations under the second metacarpal support. It also stretches the first web space. It is also used in C-splint used in median nerve injury, in any contracture or in the burns. Now opponent's orthosis. This is used to immobilize two thumb to promote the tissue healing and to position the weak thumb in position to the other finger to facilitate 3-jaw chuck pinch. It is also used to stabilize the first metacarpophalangeal joint. Basic opponent's orthosis consist of a dorsal and a palmar bar around the hand, wrist thumb abduction bar and C bar to stabilize the thumb. There may be attachments to this according to whether we need wrist protection, prevention of the MCP extension and assistance of the finger extension. Short opponent's splint. The short opponent's splint maintains thumb in abduction and partial rotations under the second metacarpal. The wrist and the other fingers are free. The functions of short opponent's splints are immobilization of the thumb, improves prehension by providing a stable positions against which the finger can pinch, protect the joint from pain, stretches the web space. So indications of the wrist hand orthosis are low median nerve injury, opponent's transfers 6 weeks after surgery, post-operative splints. Next is airplane splint. The most important splint is airplane splint. The airplane splint maintains the shoulder in abduction and external rotation. It immobilizes the shoulder and the elbow joint. It consists of chest, arm, forearm and wrist pieces joined to one another almost at the right angle. So this is the airplane splints. Now in which condition airplane splint is used? First is Erb's palsy. Second is supraspinatus tendon rupture. Next one is avulsion of the greater tuberosity of the humerus, tuberculosis, arthritis of the shoulder joint, paralysis of the shoulder muscles, abduction, fracture of the neck of the humerus. The advantage of these splints are that it keeps the shoulder in its optimal position and does not confine the patient to the bed. The disadvantage are that it is inconvenient to the patient and that it tends to slide down the torso. So this is all about the upper limb orthosis. Thank you.